going on, guys? Day 7 of my, supposed daily vlogs. So I actually skipped Sunday because, there's no reason to do Sunday, in my opinion. So I wasn't really into doing it on a day off. Well, today is technically also a day off, but anyways, I just decided to go out, kind of just walk around for a little bit and talk about another topic today. And no one's actually asked me this question, but I figured it might be an interesting thing to know, given that there's kind of a lot of issues going on in the US right now. And since I'm a US citizen, obviously there's a lot of politics involved with everything that's going on in the States, given the fact that we kind of have a controversial president and everything like that. So my topic is about what do I think about all the politics going on and all the issues going on in the US. And to be honest with you, I have my opinions on them, and I'm not really going to talk about what my opinions are. I'm just going to say how much I actually care about the issues at hand. So a lot of the bigger issues tend to be a little bit more race related. Others seem a little bit more social related, in regards to like, I guess you can say transgender rights and things like that. So anyways, let's get into that. When I first moved to Korea back in February, it was just right after pretty much got a new president, everything like that. And for me, there wasn't a lot of different things other than the fact that we just got a new president and a couple of new laws. But I didn't think about it much because I knew I was moving, and I was, to be honest with you, in that time period, I was too busy to care. Hold on just a sec. We gotta. This school does this sometimes. They lock me out, so I'll go walk another way for now. I was kind of just too busy to care what was really going on. Like I said, I had my opinions on it, but they weren't really well researched, and they weren't really well thought out, because I just had a lot on my mind, and I can give two cares about who our president was in that moment. So like a lot of the current issues that are happening right now, like I said, is either race related or social related. I don't really consider transgenderism as like I might get a lot of flack for this one, but I don't really consider it as something as like a civil rights movement, because it's more of like a choice. It's like more of a choice of lifestyle. Now I know a lot of people will go into depth about they believe they are born this way, yada yada yada. I'm just saying, it's just my view on it. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong. So what's my take on it, given that I'm all the way over here, and what's kind of my opinion about like US politics ever since moving here? And to be honest with you, it's my caringness of it has decreased significantly. Because it maybe some other people will relate to this, but I'm trying to decide where I want to go today. Maybe some people relate to this, but when you go to another country and you kind of go beyond your home country, you kind of think a little bit differently than you used to. And that was beginning to happen even when I moved to Florida when I went to school. I just began to think differently about things. And it wasn't because I was, strongly influenced by the people around me. I'm not usually one to kind of be swayed by people's ideas a lot of times. I do take into account everyone's ideas, but I'm not usually like persuaded by some flaunty idea or some crazy cool idea. I usually think things out a lot. Like I think about it a lot sometimes. So obviously politics, just because I say I don't care doesn't mean I don't think about it. Sometimes I'd rather just not think about it, and it would kind of go along with the whole not caring thing. But anyways, but the reality is that all the issues that kind of people are dealing with, it doesn't affect me right now. And because it doesn't affect me, I don't really have a desire to really care about, the struggles of some people that's going on. And, a big problem that I'm seeing though is that in the U.S., there's a lot of division involved right now. There's a whole group of people that are just being divided, just because of something they think or the person they voted for or something like that. It's just insanity to me, because in my mind, if you really, really think about it, like politics is kind of a minor issue in the grand scheme of life. You're doing life with other people, and you're trying to live, grow, thrive, and have a family and move on, or have a family and provide for them and things like that. And the minute you start adding politics into the mix, it's an unnecessary evil. There are some things out there where you can say, you have a necessary evil to deal with. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes, like money, I guess you can say, is a necessary evil. Not to say that money is evil. I'm just kind of making a point. But this is kind of an unnecessary evil, in my opinion. It's like, can we just be people and talk to each other like normal people? What music do you like? What games do you play? What movies do you like? Just everyday life stuff just seems to get completely put aside because of somebody's politics. Because of what somebody thinks, whether that be on the right side or the left side. It's really insanity to me. And to be honest with you, I don't understand it. And I think especially now that since I've been here, it's like, especially regarding to the race-related issues, it's like, I can't really say, I guess someone might be a little bit hard-pressed to say that I'm a racist, given my choice in life partner. It's like I married a Korean woman, so I must be racist. So, I'm just kind of making a point there. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, there's people on all sides of the aisle who are blaming each other for all these various issues, but no one wants to talk to each other because everyone's an enemy. If you don't agree with my political views, you are now my enemy. It's really insanity. So that's kind of my views on the whole matter. I don't really like it, and I really kind of just wish it would stop, because I just think about when I was a kid. Kids don't care what other kids' politics are, right? I know this is maybe just a very rough analogy, but if you can't really think like a kid, if you can't really kind of tap into like your childhood, then it will be increasingly difficult to kind of relate to other people. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I just think back to when I was a kid, and I think back, like, I never saw color. I never saw politics. I never saw gender. I never saw anything like that. All I saw was another person. And, you know, part of me feels that I actually just kind of grew up that way and grew up with that mindset, and that's why all these issues at hand today seem a little bit strange to me. You know, it's like because I guess the reason it feels strange is because it just never crossed my mind as a kid. And now, as you get older, and maybe this is just all part of getting older and kind of becoming an adult, which I've been an adult for several years now, but it still amazes me. It's that we're kind of constantly being told what to think, and we're constantly being told that this is an issue. Like, think about that for a second. All the issues at hand today that you hear about, where did you hear about them? Did you experience them, or did you hear about it from somebody else? Because if you didn't experience it firsthand, it's hard to really kind of relate to your cause. You know, it's because, like I said, I'm not going to go into details about what groups, because that just will put me in a label, and I honestly just don't want that. Because I don't want to be labeled, I'm this person or this person, because I have my opinions, and they're not worth sharing, because I know it'll cause other people to be upset, and it's not worth it. But I'm just thinking, like I said before, I'm just thinking back to where I was a kid. As a kid, you don't think about these things. I mean, unless you were raised into an environment where you are constantly being told this race is bad and they're evil. If you're not being raised that way, then you're not going to think that way. And I definitely wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to look at another person's skin color and say this person is the way they are. Now, there are stereotypes, and stereotypes are loosely based off of truth. So yeah, of course there's always going to be stereotypes, and people need to just get over that. You know, I'm white. There's stereotypes for white people, all right? I had friends that are black. There's stereotypes for black people. I'm living in Asia. There's plenty of stereotypes about Asians that are indeed true. But in the light of that, of course, they're loosely based off truth, so it doesn't apply to every individual. And I think that's kind of the bigger issue here, is that, sorry this video is going kind of long, guys, but I was just thinking about this today, and I thought it would be something to talk about. This isn't so much of a rant as it is just kind of spilling my thoughts on the current issues at hand. But I kind of got off track there because I was explaining myself. But when you think about it, it's like those, like I was talking about stereotypes. Okay, so the individual aspect is what I was wanting to talk about. What seems to me to be one of the bigger problems today about, you know, today's issues in the US is that everybody wants to be considered a part of a group, or they need to feel like they're representing a group instead of being just an own individual person. That's strange to me, because most of, you know, the United States and most democracy-based countries or cultures are usually dependent on the individual. And right now, it seems like every single group, it feels kind of weird, but I think even in the last video or a couple videos ago when I talked about North Korea, I talked about the media. And actually, the media to me is more of a cancer to American politics today, is because it's not really about anybody's views. It's all about getting views. I mean, it's not about people's views, morally speaking. It's about literal views, literally getting hits on their website. All right, so they'll do just about anything for you to get you to read their articles. Okay, and of course they're going to line it up with their biases. This goes for every news outlet. I'm not just talking about one group. I'm not just talking about CNN or Fox News. I'm not talking about just one of those. There's almost every outlet right now is blaming each other, trying to kind of divide everyone into thinking a certain way. And it to me, it's completely asinine. It's completely stupid, because America is built off of individuals. And when you start putting individuals into groups, you start dividing people. You know, on an individual level, we can all kind of communicate and be united as individuals. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it's possible. You know, there's the saying, the e pluribus unum. It means out of many, one. You know, so out of many individuals. I mean, I know it was meaning, the original meaning was about cultures and stuff like that, but if you apply it to this as well, out of many individuals, there's one country, one united body. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, if you really think about it, everybody's just separated based off their political views. That's the biggest issue I see. And that being said, that's also why I think that I'm not super caring about all the major issues going on in the US. Like I said, I can go into depth about talking about them. I did just a little bit about the race thing, but there's so many right now that everybody wants to be a victim of something, and it's completely dumb. If you want to be a victim of something, you're never going to get anything done with life. If you're always going to be a victim, you're just going to be a victim, and that's nothing all. I mean, there's nothing less or nothing more. I don't know. My brain's kind of scatterbrained right now, but anyways, I'm going to cut this video because it's already 17 minutes. I wish it didn't take so long on this. I'm sorry, guys. I think because I don't have work today, I've been just kind of circling around and not caring how much time I take. Usually when I go to work, there's kind of a set amount of time. But, you know, if you guys have similar views as me, you know, let me know. I'm sure I'm not the only person who thinks like this. So, let me know in the comments or whatever. Or just message me on Discord or Facebook or whatever you want to contact me on. So anyways, that's day 7 for you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.